Hello friends, this video on Environment Chemistry Part 3 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now we'll start with air pollution. As I told, there is something called threshold for a given pollutant, right? So if a given pollutant X has threshold, for example, 5 parts per million, so if the concentration of that particular pollutant is less than 5, it is not harmful. If it is more than 5, it is harmful, right? So similarly, the definition of air pollution is nothing but the condition in which the chemical substance in the air or the pollutant in the air gradually builds up their concentration. As I told, they are something called non-biodegradable pollutant, and some pollutants are biodegradable. So if I have non-biodegradable pollutants and their concentration builds up, right, over a period of time to such an extent that it is undesirable. For example, if the threshold value is 5 part per million, over a period of time it becomes 7 part per million. So in that case, that becomes a concern for us, right? And this pollutant is harmful. It has harmful effect on nature, it has harmful effect on human being also, and that is nothing but air pollution. For example, if you see the smoke, cigarette smoke, the smoke which you get from rockets, the factory, from factory you get pollution from cars, ships, volcanoes, nuclear waste. From most of these you get air pollutant, and that causes air pollution. So now the question is, we know what is air pollution. When the contamination, the pollutant will cross the threshold limit and it is harmful to the human being. That times we call it air pollution. The question is, why air pollution is harmful to human? As we know, as a human being, we require 12 to 13 times more air than food, right? So if we have, let's suppose, X grams of food per day, we need almost 15 X grams of air per day, not in the terms of grams per volume. So the concentration is more, right? So we need more, we breathe in more air than we eat food. So if my food is polluted, the chances that I'll be impacted is X, let's suppose. But if my air is polluted, the chances that I'll be impacted is 15x, right? Because you're consuming more air than food. So in that case, if you see, air pollution is a big risk because we inhale more and more air. So if air is polluted, the chances that we'll get sick is more, right? So even if there is small amount of pollutant in air, it is a very major risk as compared to the same amount of pollutant in the food, right? So you understand the difference? Since we consume more air than food, almost 15 to 16 times, so even if there is a small amount of pollution or pollutant in the air, that is a major risk, or there's a bigger risk as compared to similar amount of pollutant in the food. There are something called primary and secondary air pollutant. What is primary air pollutant? So primary pollutant is nothing but these are emitted directly from the source. For example, if you see, right, the smoke, the ash, the dust, sulfur oxides, carbon monoxide, ammonia, radioactive substance, these are something which is directly emitted from the source. For example, radioactive substances emitted from a nuclear plant, by smoke from the factory, ash from the factory, dust from some construction work, sulfur oxide, carbon monoxide, or from volcanoes and other sources. So these are the one which is directly emitted. There is something called secondary. Secondaries are the one which is not directly emitted from the source, but they are converted, right, by the chemical reaction in the atmosphere. For example, SO2 is something which is primary. It is directly emitted from the source. Now this SO2, when it reacts with oxygen that is in the atmosphere, it brings SO3, sulfur trioxide. This is my secondary. Why secondary? Because this is not something which is directly emitted. Nitrogen oxide also, if you see, is directly emitted, but when it reacts with oxygen gas, it gets nitrogen dioxide. Correct. So ozone also, if you see, you get oxygen and O. When it reacts in the presence of ultraviolet rays, something, or UV light or sunlight, it becomes ozone. These are my secondary pollutant because these don't emit, or you don't get this directly from the source, but you get something from the source and that reacts with oxygen in the air with some other other pollutants in the air that sometimes act as a catalyst, and you get something else, and that something else is my secondary pollutant. For example, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, these are my secondary pollutant, right? So my primary pollutant is something which you get directly from the source and they remain in environment. Secondary is the one from the primary, some reaction happens and you get secondary pollutant. So let's talk about atmosphere, because we are talking about air pollution, we have to talk about atmosphere. So what is atmosphere? So if you see, this is my typical Earth, and they have various layers actually. If you see, this is the first layer is troposphere, then they have stratosphere, then I have mesosphere, ionosphere, thermosphere. There are so many layers, and we have learned these in past classes, so you don't need to learn this. We'll mostly cover and focus on troposphere and stratosphere, because these are the two layers where we talk about pollution, air pollution. We talk about air pollution, we talk about these layers. We don't talk about mesosphere, we don't talk about the ionosphere, thermosphere, because their pollution doesn't play any role, right? So if we talk about the troposphere, this is my lowest atmosphere. So atmosphere has so many layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, thermosphere. So the lowest region is called troposphere, and it extends almost 10 kilometers from sea level. So from this, it is almost 10 kilometers. Correct? And in this troposphere, you'll see all this turbulent, all this dusty zone, dust. It will have air, it will have water vapors, it will have clouds, it will have clouds, it will have water droplets, right? It will have dust, it will have turbulent zone. All these things, it will be in this troposphere. And then I have stratosphere. So this is between 10 and 50. This distance is 40 kilometers. Correct? So this is my stratosphere. So this has my nitrogen, this has my oxygen, this has my ozone, which is my ozone layer, and this has small amount of water vapors. This is my stratosphere. And this, as I told, the stratosphere has ozone actually. This ozone we have, and this ozone is nothing but an ozone layer which prevents or which blocks a lot of UV rays from the sun. And we'll see that this ozone is good when it is there in the stratosphere, but not good when it is there in the troposphere. We'll study all those things later, but just understand that in atmosphere they have so many layers, but we have focused only on troposphere and stratosphere. Troposphere, troposphere, we generally have the water vapor, clouds, dust, and all those things. In stratosphere, we have nitrogen gas, oxygens, ozones, and little amount of water vapors. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.